Welcome back to Two Marks and a Spark. It has been quite some time. We've had technical issues, health issues. Everybody's good. Everybody's fine,
Yeah,
I think, for the most part.
more or less.
Anyway, we're here to talk about wrestling, as
Been a
always.
while.
Yeah.
Been a minute,
Hi,
but there's a
Russ.
lot. There's been a lot that's been happening. So there's no way we could possibly talk about everything that's happened in the world of pro wrestling.
Well, the first thing I want to kind of hit right off the top here is it feels like both companies are kind of heating up now. AEW felt ice cold for a while. It feels like AEW might be getting a little fire under their ass right away.
Correct?
It
Yes.
felt like World's End, which I thought was a very good show, I was like, oh, there's no way they keep this momentum. They've kept it going and they
Right.
got something.
Well,
I
I'm really high on Will Hobbs. I'm glad he's back. I hope they'll keep using him. Uh, I mean, they could use him better, but they're on the right track with him.
and Kenny coming back felt like a big deal. And I told you, I believe it was whenever I think it was after All Out that I said once Kenny Omega comes back, I think AEW will have no choice but to get it in gear.
And Hobbs is a great promo too. Really good. He's been a great promo since day one.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't think he was great early. That's why they put him with Taz early because
Okay, but I remember the book and all that. I thought that was actually pretty cool for a rookie.
it was cool.
The Book
I
of Hobbs.
I don't necessarily I don't know. It feels like Kenny coming back. It feels like Kenny came back and said, "What the fuck are we doing?"
Well, it feels like the right time.
Yeah. But have you noticed that when Kenny Omega got hurt or went out with diverticulitis,
Right.
the product went like this. He comes
Yep.
back and almost immediately,
I'm glad he addressed that too because I've never had that, but I've known people that have had that, and believe me, it's not a laughing matter. I mean, not only can it kill you, it's it's extremely painful and miserable
and
all the time.
and the doctors said had he gone to the hospital 24 hours later, he wouldn't have made
He'd
it.
be dead. Right. Then they'd be doing a memorial show.
But does it not feel like, and I don't know what happened. I'm not reporting, but I am just guessing. What happened was Kenny came back and he looked around backstage and he said, dude, what the fuck? I'm gone for 7 months.
You notice that the Bucks are out of the picture now too, at least temporarily.
Well,
I don't know
I
what
think
they're up to. Are they just taking some time off to heal up or
I think they're
retire
part
or
time.
reinvent themselves or something?
They're part time now. I think that's just what they are.
Well, that's all right. They got families and all.
Yeah,
I mean,
both of
they
them have
probably,
kids and wives and all that.
well, they're good. I encourage them to take a lot of time off. They've earned it. And the fans have earned the right to only see him once in a while. That sounds like a backhanded compliment if there ever was one.
I mean, let's not act like they didn't work their asses off to get where they are.
Oh, I know. And I'm not knocking their I'm the only thing I'm talking about is the overall gimmick. You know, some people obviously absolutely love it.
Right. Look, wrestling's a little bit of something for everybody. But here's the thing, AEW was so bad at the end of the year last year. It was so bad for months. I'm talking from All Out, really around All Out to no, because the Danielson stuff was good. They were doing good stuff, but it was buried in this myriad of garbage. Like, remember when Harley Cameron, I think, main evented a collision? I'm not kidding. I think this happened. Am I crazy, or did Harley Cameron and Anna Jay main event a collision? I swear they
You
did.
have a memory of something like that, yeah. But I
Like
can't
AEW,
remember. Could tell you the opponent.
but it was just this dreck that you were dragging yourself through every week. And Collision was, and we'll talk about Collision in a minute. Collision feels like the show that's really turned itself around because Collision last year was unfucking watchable for 90% of it and unbearable for most of it.
Right. They still won't let FTR win anything, but you're right.
But Collision's gotten better. It feels like this new TV deal has lit a fire under their ass. I feel like them not having to do Rampage is helping them more than hurting them,
It's a
actually.
really good idea to get rid of what was it, Rampage? That
Yeah.
was a good idea because the last thing they needed now is to do another hour of TV every week. And
I
I
just
know that that's like where some of the wrestlers that you hadn't seen in 6 months would show up. So for the hardcore fan, I would sometimes fast forward through it to see who was who. But it's kind of like when they added Thunder to Nitro. It didn't help the company at all. It hurt them. Less is, I think part of this TV deal is with that Rampage had such low ratings that they probably opted out on the deal for an extra hour of show.
I just I do think they should bring Dark back. Remember that show they did on YouTube that was basically just the dark matches? They
Yes,
should bring that back.
I agree. I enjoyed looking at that.
Make it an hour on YouTube and you can put the underneath guys on there. You don't have to put Kenny Omega on Dark. You don't have to put Darby Allin on Dark. Put Lance Archer and these guys that you're not going to fucking use anyway.
All
Give
right.
them something to do.
Well, let me ask you something else about. I don't think it was Collision. Where were they in Tennessee when
I
they
don't
had the
remember.
gauntlet? Was that Dynamite or Collision? That was Dynamite, wasn't it?
That was Dynamite that they did the gauntlet
Okay,
with.
they're a few miles out of Nashville. The only guy in that gauntlet match before Hobbs showed up, the only guy that got a big pop was Jeff Jarrett. That's obviously a Jeff Jarrett crowd.
Okay, can we talk about this Jeff Jarrett
What
shit?
do you think? What do you think about Jeff Jarrett? The way they're using him now. I know you've never been high on Jeff Jarrett. Where on the other hand, back in '94, which was not a great time in wrestling, but Double
No
J and Jeff
kidding.
Jarrett was one of the most entertaining things on wrestling TV.
Okay, so let's do a rewind here. Let's just go back to the first of the year because that's when all this kind of happened.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff Jarrett, old slapnuts as I like to call him.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they're teasing Jeff Jarrett making this announcement on the January 1st episode of Dynamite, and I'm thinking,
He's going to retire.
thank God, goodbye. I
Oh man, I tell you what, I'll tell you what. Someday I'm going to force you to watch a bunch of good Jeff Jarrett matches, and you're going to like them whether you like it or not.
I kind of said the Cornette line when I heard that. That
I
thank
think
you,
I
fuck
think
you, bye.
if I could get you to drink a 6 pack of Old Style or something like that first, that would help. That would get you in the mood. Or some Schlitz, if I could find Schlitz. If we're
Something
down south,
shitty.
I'll find you some Pearl beer in the can.
Something shitty would be required. Anyway, Jeff Jarrett comes out on this and he's like, maybe it's time for this cowboy to ride off into the sunset. And I'm thinking, yeah, that would be a good idea.
And
You're
I'm thinking, oh,
58.
you got one more round in you, Joe, old feller.
And then he says, I've signed my last contract as a wrestler. And I'm thinking, well, what the fuck does that mean? How long is the contract?
Maybe he's doing like Cena. This is his answer to the Cena farewell tour.
Only I care a whole lot less and want to see it, not at all. Anyway, uh, look. So then he says, I'm going to win the world title. Huh? You're going to do what?
Well, not in that company. No, probably not.
And
And then he gets his ass handed to him when he finally wrestles. Remember that?
then he goes in the gauntlet. Well,
Yeah,
first, he cuts a promo earlier in the show before the gauntlet match.
right.
And who cuts him off? MJF.
That's right.
Holy fuck. They're actually going to do Jeff Jarrett and MJF, and this is going to be a fucking terrible. Turns out I don't think they're going to do that.
Right. Right.
And if they do, they're fucking idiots.
They would have had
But
some funny promos. That's about it.
oh god, the match would have been
I
terrible.
don't know who on the roster though would be about equivalent to his. I mean, just where he's at physically in his career. That would be a good that he could have good matches with.
Sting, Sting, but Sting's
Right.
Sting's gone.
Edge could probably have work with him. Or I'm sorry, Cope,
Oh, we'll
Cope.
talk about that in a second. Adam
Oh
Copeland's in better shape than Jeff Jarrett is.
yeah,
Period. End of story. Not even a question. Christian's in better shape than he is.
yeah. Well, actually, I think it would have been nice if, and you probably wouldn't have minded this at all, but because if he wanted to do one last match, do it in TNA. That would be more appropriate, wouldn't it?
It would make more sense.
It would make more sense whether you like him or not. By
Well,
the way,
anyway,
I hate I got one mention. I'm not trying to change the subject, but speaking of TNA, I heard that uh, Awesome Kong is going to be coming back to TNA.
God, I
And
hope not.
that
She's really beat up.
I didn't say to Russell. I thought she was going to be coming back to do something though, and Gail Kim also. Maybe they're just going to have something to do with the women's division as an
I
angle.
I would hope it's just an angle because Awesome Kong is just as beat up as anybody. People forget how many matches Awesome Kong had.
Oh yeah, right.
Like, yes, her run was relatively short, but she was when she was in TNA. She was not just in TNA. She was wrestling in Japan too.
That's right.
She had probably 200 matches a year for a good 5 years.
And would you agree with me too that series that she had with Gail Kim and TNA was some of the best women's matches ever in wrestling history?
Well, not only that, it was probably the best thing on TV at the time.
Yes, it was more exciting than what was going on with WWE at the time for a lot of fans. And I had a lot of friends that back then that TNA was kind of like their alternative to WWE because it was closer to the old NWA WCW.
So let's talk about TNA for a second because one of their current wrestlers, Jeff Hardy, did a recent news interview with some TV station in Dallas promoting TV tapings in Dallas for TNA.
I
And
hope he
Jeff
didn't say
Hardy,
anything controversial.
oh, did he ever? Oh, are you ready for this?
But I haven't heard what it is, but I'm interested to hear.
So this happened, by the way. What he's talking about is around the same time period as the Gail Kim Awesome Kong thing. He says, had he not fucked his life up the way he did when he was in his 20s and 30s, going up and down the roads, doing all the drugs, drinking all the alcohol, that he could have been bigger than John Cena.
Oh, really? Well,
Jeff,
ah,
Jeff,
boy. I mean, I hate to sound mean on a guy
Jeff.
that's good run, but come on, Jeff. I'm sorry, man.
Okay, listen.
He
All
could have had a bigger career, I'm sure, but nah.
here's the argument both for and against what he said. In 2007 and 2008 and 2009, there was nobody in the WWE more popular, more well liked, and more over than Jeff Hardy. Hardy was more over than Cena. He was more over than Orton. And he was certainly more over than Ric Flair was in that period in either company. Because remember, Ric Flair left in 2008. to go to TNA. So, and Jeff Hardy wins the WWE Championship in 2008 at Armageddon 2008. I just saw the clip. Jeff Hardy wins the triple threat with him and Triple H and Edge. Well, it was actually a pretty good match, especially for 2008.
Yeah.
And the place goes fucking crazy. Now, could Jeff Hardy have been a 10-time WWE champion? Yes. I think he could have. But would he have been bigger than John Cena? No. I don't think Jeff had the promo ability that John Cena does and did and still does. Jeff just doesn't have that promo that is so important in WWE, period. Like, you need to be great on the mic to do well in WWE. That's why Seth Rollins has done so well. That's why Drew McIntyre is doing so well. That's why CM Punk has done well twice now.
Yeah.
Because let's not forget, this is Punk's second go around in that company. Some people like to try to forget the first time. He's been there twice, and he's
Yeah.
been a main eventer both times.
Yes.
Big part of that's his promo.
Sure. He pisses me off all the time, but he's sure not underrated. You just must watch TV, even if you don't like this. I just, my big beef with his promos, as good as they are, is just whether he's supposed to be a heel or a face, he just comes across as so self-righteous, so sanctimonious, you know. I'm straight edge, and that makes me better than you. My God, that makes me want to have a fucking drink.
Doesn't a lot of things make you want to have a fucking drink, in all fairness to CM Punk?
Well, no, I haven't been drinking. Oh, it's Punk, yeah. I was going to say, shoot, I haven't had a beer for about 2 weeks. I've had so much going on in my life, I haven't even had a chance to get drunk.
So, okay, let's talk about Raw the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
The first Raw on Netflix went off without a technical issue, really. They had some audio issues, but
correct.
like Netflix's side didn't really have any issues.
Also, you called it right. You predicted even before it was officially announced, you predicted it would be Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. And you also predicted that it would be Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett on SmackDown, and that Corey Graves would be in limbo.
I didn't know what they were going to do with Corey. I thought it would be a 3-man booth on SmackDown, actually.
Oh, well, I think that's what he thought.
Well, that's what
And
I thought too.
are they going to put him on NXT, maybe?
Okay. I'm gonna pull this up because I took a picture of it. So after Raw went off the air last night, Corey Graves
That's,
went on Twitter. By the way, Corey Graves has been suspended. Just for the Corey Graves is suspended. He was supposed to be on NXT tonight. He is suspended.
oh, because of the tweet?
Yes, he is
Oh,
suspended.
let's hear it. What is it?
I don't know for how long, but I know he's suspended for sure, and it might just be for tonight. Corey Graves said this on Twitter, and I quote, this is after Raw last night. This is 10:30 Central Time last night. Quote, imagine chasing your dream, then being told, all capital letters, not deciding, that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. Then you dedicate your life to something, quote, dream adjacent, and being pretty fucking awesome at it. I would, little editorializing here, agree to disagree on that one there, Corey.
I would say he got better with time. And that I would say that the other people brought him along, helped him.
He continues, and then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being told you're not famous enough for your own job. Okay.
In other words, they told him you're not a big enough star to be on Raw or SmackDown anymore.
Just in case you're wondering where I've been.
Okay.
That
Well,
was Corey Graves on
well,
Twitter.
I understand the way he feels. I probably feel the same way, but man, I understand why he's suspended. He's probably lucky he didn't get fired. Hell, Vince would have fired his ass.
Tony would have fired him.
Yeah.
Tony Khan would have fired him for that.
Yeah.
And if you say something that Tony Khan would have fired you for, and you work for WWE, and you somehow don't get fired,
Right. Well, I don't. You can't have your employees burying the company in their social media and stuff. It's just it's unprofessional.
it's
You
bad
should
for business.
you should have waited and done it in a shoot interview a couple years from now. Then he could have made some money off it.
Look, here's the thing, and this is just me being honest. Okay, this is me being 100% honest. Joe Tessitore is not going to be there forever.
I don't think so. You and I like him a lot, but apparently he's not huge with a lot of WWE, the WWE universe.
Well, not only that, but he's a much bigger star outside of
Yes,
WWE. He's like Pat McAfee. He's a much bigger deal in the sports world than he is in the wrestling world.
yes. Well,
Just like Pat McAfee.
when college football season starts, do you think that he'll be
No,
gone?
no, because he started during college football season this year, and he's been
All
there
right,
every week. I think he
right,
missed 1 week.
right. He just, he can't work. He can't work on Saturday.
So look, I'm not sure what they're going to do with Corey Graves. Me personally, I'd have probably released him. Just being honest. I wouldn't have, I would not have let it get to this point, probably.
Yeah,
Because if he's saying this publicly now, he's probably been saying it privately for a while.
for sure. And it's probably, I'm sure that he didn't say anything that came as a shock to his bosses because he's probably said it to them too. I'm sure.
And if he hasn't, that makes this even more unprofessional.
Oh yeah, because if you're really unhappy in your job, you should at least try to talk to your boss. I would assume that he did, but who knows?
Him and Triple H are buddies. So I guarantee you he did. But here's the thing. I don't know what the hell he was thinking doing that last night because he probably just cost himself a lot of money. It's probably what he did.
Was it posted real late at night?
Yeah.
I wonder if he had the little, I've this might come as a shock, but I've often said stupid and even hurtful things under the influence of alcohol or other substances. It does occasionally happen. I'm not always the smooth, svelte guy that you see before you. I occasionally put my foot in my mouth. I wonder if he had a few, he was in a bad mood and he drank a few. Late night posting is, oh, it's the posting of regret.
Well, it's gotten Chris Jericho in trouble before. It's gotten Seth Rollins in trouble before. And it seems like it got Corey Graves in trouble.
Well, it's gotten me in trouble before too, but fortunately, I'm not on TV and I'm not in the wrestling business, so nobody needs to know about it.
So Corey Graves is seemingly, at least for now, gone.
Yeah. But
Let me
the
ask
two
you
announced
this.
teams they got right now I think are good. So
Let me ask you this. If he gets let go, which I've been given no inclination that that's what's going. I have been given every inclination that this is a slap on the wrist suspension.
yeah, sounds like it.
Does that make any sense? Like you shouldn't have fucking done that.
Yeah.
You're suspended for a week.
Right.
Whatever. If he gets let go, if you're Tony Khan, Are you making a phone call and saying, look,
Well, I might want to have his phone number handy, but I don't know if I'd be in a big. If I was able to figure out a specific way to use him, but nothing. No, probably not. I don't think he needs him. Really, to
as
be
a
honest, does Tony Khan need to hire any more wrestlers?
he's not a wrestler, he's a commentator.
Well, they've got too many of those too.
But he's good on the mic. He could be a manager.
He could be, yeah,
And if Tony Khan, if Carmella, if she's actually just sitting her deal out, which has been the rumor, I don't know that, but that's been the rumor. Why not go get Corey Graves and Carmella? Why not
yeah.
take a chance on it? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But
Hell, if I was Tony Khan, I'd hire Fandango. That's who I'd hire. I'm,
I would.
there's a little blast for. I don't even know what the hell the guy calls himself anymore.
Well, it's Johnny Curtis, and I don't think he's working right now.
Okay,
Actually, he might be in TNA. But anyway, I just I don't know, man. I think I think Corey ends up back in WWE
yeah,
probably next week. Let's not overreact to this. He's probably going to be back,
probably doing some work with Booker T on the CW.
probably on NXT. And you know what? Pat McAfee's going to be gone again in 9 months.
Correct. That's right. Pat McAfee, I have to tell you, one of these times he jumps up on that table to eat, he's going to trip and injure himself. He's going to
Yeah.
slip.
Okay, let's go back to talking about Raw.
Yeah,
So this show was the first show of Raw on Netflix was very good, went off pretty much without a hitch up until
oh my God. I am a real American. Fight for
so
the right to.
they're booing immediately.
Oh,
Actually, they cheered Jimmy Hart. That was the funny part. They cheered Jimmy Hart.
exactly. How can you boo Jimmy Hart?
I would have.
Well, for other reasons than Jimmy Hart, or you just don't like the Gentry. You thought the group really sucked.
I just don't like Jimmy Hart. Anyway, so Jimmy Hart comes out waving an American flag, which was
Yeah.
odd.
Flag
No comment
wavers.
further than that. Um, and then Hulk Hogan fucking hobbles. He does not walk, he hobbles.
He could have made it to the ring.
No.
It's obvious the guy's in a lot of pain.
Look, he's in a lot of pain. You know, say whatever you want about the guy personally. I've said a lot and will continue to say a lot, and he shouldn't have been on this show.
Mm-mm.
But oh my God, did he look like he was going to fucking fall over?
Yeah.
And he's getting booed. And
Bad.
he starts cutting this real American beer promo. And I'm thinking,
Boy, talk about not reading the room.
oh my God. Okay. So the reason Hogan got booed, by the way, is not just his political stuff.
Correct, because the Undertaker got cheered. If it was because he endorsed Donald Trump, they would have done the same thing to the Undertaker. And they cheered Taker.
And they cheered The Undertaker.
Right.
This was not a political thing. And I know what everybody's going to say. Oh, they were in blue California. Well, you know what? I'm not sure Hogan would have gotten cheered in Fayetteville, Arkansas. So, you know, I'm not sure Hogan would have gotten cheered in. Hogan would not have gotten cheered in Des Moines, Iowa. He would have gotten booed out of the building in Des Moines, Iowa. He would have gotten booed out of the building in Minneapolis for sure.
Sure.
He would have gotten booed probably worse in Chicago.
Oh God. Can you imagine?
It probably would have been worse in Chicago. I'm going to be honest with you. Like the LA thing was bad, but I think Chicago was worse.
Yeah. Have you ever known a person? I'm sure there's a diagnosis for this, but we've all met people like this who lie casually and constantly in a way that doesn't make sense. They tell lies which are not only easily verifiable as lies, but also which serve no self-serving purpose, which do not benefit him in any way. And he continues to do it over and over and over and
Okay.
over.
Okay. I'm going to say this. I think Stevie Richards is a dumb son of a bitch, but I think he had something right here. They were not booing Hogan just for the political stuff. They were booing Hogan for the racism and for the lies and maybe a little bit for the political stuff
I would say even more for the backstage politics of wrestling because
and the union
look at
busting.
all the people whose career he screwed over.
Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
Uh, there's countless names. Austin Idol, Jesse Ventura, you name it, dude. Hell, he screwed Dusty Rhodes for God's sake.
Oh.
People want to forget that, but he screwed Dusty Rhodes too. So, yeah, it
It'll
like
work for me, brother.
I just look, and Stevie Richards had a good point, and I
Yeah.
can't fucking stand this fucker. By the way,
You don't
that's a
like
whole
Stevie
separate story.
Richards?
I think he's a dumb son of a bitch,
Okay.
and I like Vince Russo fine enough. I've met the guy. I like the guy. I don't like his booking, but as a person, I'm fine with Vince Russo. Do I think he tells the truth all the time? No, but he certainly tells the truth more than Hulk Hogan does. But then again, so does Pinocchio. Um, you know, but Richard's point was Triple H knew exactly what the fuck he was doing sending Hogan out there. He wanted him to get booed. That was the point.
I don't think they
And
could have misread the room as badly as it looks. It doesn't make any sense.
it was intentional, dude. They wanted him to get booed. I think Triple H said, I think this was a Bruce Pritchard idea. And I think Hunter said, okay, fine, but he's going to get booed out of the fucking building. And
Well,
Bruce said, no, he won't. And Hunter said, yes, he fucking will. Watch this. And he sent him out there
well,
and he probably glad handed with him and said, good to see you, Terry, blah, 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 blah. And then Hogan went
apparently they
out
got
there.
some kind of promotional contract with this damn beer.
Well, that's a business side thing. Triple H has nothing to do with that.
But I can't see how that's going to get over with the fans.
It's not.
You know, about as good as you remember Ric Flair's energy drink thing. That
It'll end
petered out pretty fast, didn't it?
this will end the same way. Look,
I think it's going to fizzle out quick.
6 months, I think, and this is over. But
Remember
I think
Pasta Mania?
I think I think Triple H knew exactly what was going to happen, and he said fine. And he probably glad handed with Hogan and said, "Good to see you." Blah 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 blah. And then he sent them out there, and I guarantee you, Triple H was sitting in the backs saying to Bruce, "I fucking told you so, you fucking moron."
Well, it also gave them a viral news moment way beyond the realm of just the wrestling press. And, you know, especially with the Netflix thing and everything going on, it's in the long run, it's going to be good publicity. I'm sure it got people that hadn't watched Raw in a long time to say, "Oh, I should see what's happening on Raw."
And the genius of it was They sent him out there and they got him back, and then they immediately went to Seth Rollins. That was the genius of it
It
because
was over quick. It didn't last very long.
they knew the crowd was fucking pissed, and they didn't waste time and they didn't fuck around. They said, Seth, go.
Yep.
Boom.
And he got the show back on track.
And Seth Rollins largely got the crowd back kind of on side. The crowd turned on the show for 3 minutes, and then Seth came out and they kind of got back in the saddle and were ready to go again. My problem with this Raw, and Kevin Nash pointed it out, and I don't always agree with Nash either. I think Nash says some dumb shit. Nash pointed it out, and I agreed with him. I do not think they should have done this show in LA
Yeah, good point.
because if you were doing this show to be a wrestling show, the crowd didn't work. But if you were doing this show as a launch party, LA was perfect.
They had lots of celebrities that I'd forgotten about or never heard of.
Do you know who got the biggest pop of the night outside of CM Punk?
Who was that?
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're exactly right.
Macaulay Culkin.
There you go.
And that was funny.
That's
Like,
right.
okay. Third biggest pop of the
Right.
night was
And Macaulay Culkin, he's a eyewitness to the one and only time when Donald Trump was ever nice to somebody. When he helped little Kevin, he gave him directions in the store there in Home Alone 2, you know.
yeah. Well, anyway, so Vanessa Hudgens got a decent pop. I mean, all the celebrities got pops, but Vanessa Hudgens got a notable one because it feels like Vanessa Hudgens has been at every fucking WWE show for ever now.
For a while. Yeah.
She's there all the time. They might as well just sign her because she's there more than she's not. Like anytime they're on the West Coast, she's fucking there. They
Yeah.
might as well just fucking say, "Hey, do you want to?
You're
Hey,
right,
do you
Dave.
want to? Do you want to do something? Do you want some money?"
She
Like,
could be the full-time front row audience ringer.
uh, fuck, let her ring announce.
Yep.
Fuck it. If she's gonna be there anyway, because she is, you might as well do something about it anyway. So Seth and Punk, they have this great match. It was very much a spot fest, though. It was a lot of curb stomps and go to sleeps. Devlin counted. There was 7 go to sleeps combined, the two guys, in one match. And then this show goes off the air. Raw last week, 3.5 hours, and it did not feel like it,
Right.
which made last night's Raw very interesting. Last night's Raw,
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
I love that.
And last night's Raw, whether anybody wants to admit this or not, felt a whole lot more like a Raw on USA.
Yeah. I think it was overall, it was a better show.
Right, because that first Raw on Netflix was always going to be a big spectacle. It was always going to be a big pomp and circumstance, blah, 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 blah. But the test
This
of
was
the
a lot
thing was
more
going to be
focused.
the test of the thing was going to be what happens when the celebrities and the pomp and the circumstance and some of the attention dies down.
I'm so glad that they saved the debut of Penta for last night than their first show.
Holy shit, thank God they did that.
Yeah, because this would have been an afterthought on that first show.
What did you think
I
of
was
them?
impressed. I understand there's a mixed reaction from the WWE universe, but I transcend the WWE universe. I watch all wrestling, so
Okay,
I
well
think it was great.
let's talk about this Penta thing. So last night, Punk comes out to start the show, which was the smartest thing they could have done.
Yep.
Sending Punk out there right away was the smartest thing they could have done. And Punk comes out and he cuts a promo. And right in when he says, hit my music, here comes Seth Rollins.
Right.
And CM Punk looked like he was going to cry. I mean, he was just because he beat Seth and he's like, oh, for the love of God, I already beat this guy. Can we get this over with? So Seth comes out and he says, you're in the Royal Rumble. Fuck you. I'm in the Royal Rumble. And then Drew's music hits, and Punk's like, why can't Rhea Ripley interrupt me? Why can't it just be Rhea Ripley? Can we just get
Sure.
Rhea, can you come out here, please? Drew comes out and says, fuck you both. I'm in the
Exactly.
Royal Rumble. And then Punk drops this great line because Punk and Drew and Seth start arguing, and Punk says, if either of you fools want to swing, I'll be right here.
Right. And then they're off. And there they go.
And they don't end up starting swinging. And then, like nothing ever happened, they didn't even go to commercial. These guys clear out. Here comes Chad Gable. And I'm
Right.
thinking,
Right away.
and I'm thinking, am I watching Raw on Netflix or are we back on the USA Network?
Yeah.
What the? What's going on here? Here comes Chad Gable. And Michael Cole says, Chad Gable told Adam Pearce to find him to find the best luchador he could find. And Penta's music hits, and this place goes fucking insane. There's people in Penta masks fucking
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And dude,
Yeah. I thought it was a good match too.
and Penta and Chad Gable proceed to have about the best debut match you can have.
Yeah. Apparently it went too long.
Well, not only did that go too long,
The promo.
the promo after,
Yeah.
let's
That went
talk
on a
about
little
that.
less. I wonder if he's going to get heat for that.
No, he's not. Here's why. So Penta wins, then he cuts this promo. He goes long, but this is one of those cases where you should be patted on the back for going long, not reamed out,
Yeah.
because he cuts this great fucking promo. Half of
Right.
it's in Spanish,
Right.
and people were complaining that he cut the promo in Spanish.
Not me. I don't understand Spanish, and it didn't bother me a bit because I don't speak it, but about half the world does. And this is supposed to be a worldwide platform.
And they're in San Jose, and I don't know if you know this about San Jose. In terms of U.S.
A lot of
cities,
people
they got a very high percentage of Spanish speakers in San
it
Jose.
was. I was hoping he would do it. I love it when the luchadors are bilingual. Any wrestler that's bilingual, I'm impressed with that.
Like, speak what English you can, sure, fine. But if you're more comfortable speaking Spanish, Penta, go ahead and fucking do it. No one's gonna bother you.
Hey, if they could translate Shinsuke Nakamura with subtitles, then they could do some film promos with him and do the same thing.
And Penta gets this massive reaction, and they showed his kids and his wife.
That was
And
great.
if they could have planted those three in a better, what was it? There was three or four of his family members. I don't know how
Mhm.
many kids he has. He has two or three kids. All of them were there. And if they could have planted them in a better spot, I don't know that they could have, because they were perfect. They were front row right there. Perfect place for the camera, perfect place for Penta, perfect place for everything. Now the question became, and the question becomes now, one, how are they going to follow this up? And two, how long until Ray Phoenix says, see you, Tony,
He's still contractually tied to AEW.
for I believe another 5 months. Yes.
Oh wow! And they're not using him at all. So basically, he's being paid to do nothing.
So is Ricky Starks.
Yeah, and I don't get that at all because I thought Ricky Starks had some momentum. Another
So
one of
is
the
Malachi
disappointments
Black.
in this company. What's that?
Let's so is Malachi Black. So
Yes.
let's talk about those three guys for a second. Malachi Black, Ricky Starks, and Ray Phoenix. Where the hell are they?
I don't know, but in Malachi Black's absence, the House of Black seems to be taking almost more of a face turn, you know?
Here is the answer to all three.
Okay, what is the answer?
I have it on pretty good authority that Starks and Phoenix have handshake deals with WWE that the second they're and the belief internally is Malachi Black has the same thing.
Oh, I'd be great if he could go back.
And you know what? I don't know this. I think Brody King goes too.
That
Here's
would be
why.
interesting.
Brody King in WWE would be the biggest fucking deal. They would make him a big deal.
I I tell you, he's one of my favorite wrestlers on AEW. I love seeing that guy work.
I'm telling you what, Triple H would get one fucking look at that guy and say, God damn, you're big, and God damn it, you're going to win the title next week.
And he's so good.
And he's so good and he's so fast for how big he is.
Now, I haven't heard him talk a lot, but he can talk too. He's a
And
musician. He's got a rock. He's played in a rock band before, so he already has. In addition to athleticism, he's got showmanship skills. You know, he knows how to talk. He knows how to connect with an audience.
and Buddy Matthews lost to Will Ospreay, what was it, a week or two ago? And Ospreay says to him, I've been admiring you from afar. You're great at this. You're gonna be a
Oh
you're gonna be a
yeah.
champion one day. And if you ever need somebody in your corner, god damn it, I'll be there.
Hey, did I hear it wrong, or did he slip and call him Buddy Murphy?
He might have.
I could swear he called him Buddy Murphy, but I could have that could have just been my brain fart.
But anyway, I I don't can I make one plea? And I know we're running out of time. Can I make one plea?
Yes.
Whatever the fuck AEW does on Dynamite, do not beat Will Hobbs.
No.
Tony, Tony, I'm begging you. I'm not
No.
telling you have to put the title on him. Do a DQ. Do a DQ.
No, I think
What?
they need to put the title on him here sooner or later, whenever it makes the most sense.
What? Don't do it. They're not going to put the title on him. They're
I
not.
mean, I wouldn't do it right now.
But the match is tomorrow. That's the thing. He's the number one contender right now,
Oh
and the
yeah,
match is tomorrow.
but if we have a spot finish, then they could do another one. You know.
That's what I'm saying. Do a DQ. Have Hobbs about to win the match and send the Death Riders in there. Send Marina in. Have her kick him in the nuts.
That Turbo Floyd in there.
What? What the fuck? No.
I'm kidding there. I'm kidding, man. I'm teasing. I'm messing with you there.
So, dude, listen. God damn it, don't beat this fucking guy because he's so over. And
Yeah.
you just had him lay out the entirety of the fucking Death Riders on Collision. On Collision, here's what happens. Collision's about to go off the air. It's a pretty ho-hum show for the most part, but right at the end of the show, Hobbs gets surrounded by the Death Riders and he takes them out one by fucking one right after the other. Moxley hits him in the back with a chair, and the crowd starts, and Hobbs no sells it, and the crowd starts chanting, "You fucked up." Moxley gets that look on his face like, I think the crowd's right. I think I did fuck up.
Mhm. That's right. Got
I think
that.
I did just fucked up. So Moxley splits. He's gone.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. They're going to beat him. It's probably
Correct.
going to be a squash. Moxley will probably beat him in like 2 minutes, and we're both going to be pissed.
Oh
But
yeah, but the company does have a track record of sometimes stupidly burying the momentum of a very popular wrestler. So that's why I'm nervous about how Tony Khan's going to use him. It's always the booking. It's always the booking with him.
the booking is ever so much a problem. And it has been a problem less recently, but here's hoping they fix it.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, Russ. Of the
Give,
last couple
give
weeks,
Dustin Rhodes the pencil. Let him book a few shows. I'll bet you he could do better than Tony Khan.
well, he'd have a hell of a mess to clean up. Russ, before we end, what has been your favorite show of the last couple weeks?
I would have to say Raw.
I think Raw last night,
Yeah, Raw last night.
specifically.
Although on SmackDown, I always really, really am enjoying seeing the Motor City Machine Guns.
Can we talk about SmackDown for a second? We haven't talked about SmackDown at all. Just briefly. SmackDown's too fucking long.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Holy
Three
shit.
3 hours for SmackDown, it's a bad idea. I really think it's a bad
It's
idea.
it's temporary, and thank God it is.
Good.
It's this is too much.
And I know everybody that works there wants more TV time, and there's a lot of them that deserve it and don't get it. But, I'm speaking from the point of view of the viewer. There's too much wrestling on TV, period. Too much.
You want to know what I think? I think SmackDown and Collision both should be an hour.
Should be what?
1 hour. SmackDown and Collision both.
Oh, that would be a radical move.
Think about it. WWE could end the brand split, cut SmackDown down to an hour, and you can still put your Cody Rhodes and your Kevin Owens and your Motor City Machine Guns, who I think are going to go to Raw sooner rather than later, by the way.
Oh, yeah. But now they're sending the Wyatts over there to SmackDown. And the show's already got too many tag teams. I'd rather see some of the unused ones. Yeah. Oh, well, that's a whole nother. We could do a whole show about that, about the disappointment of the Wyatt Six. But
You think we're disappointed with it? Imagine how Bo Dallas feels right now. I'm sure he's.
I know. But I tell you what, this could have sound really, really, really old school. But they had that great debut, and then they decided to go to a damn Burger King and break kayfabe the same night. And I just thought that was so monumentally stupid. I mean, everybody already knows who they are, but it came across like we don't really give a fuck.
I get it, man.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
my
brother.
old fart comment for the night.
All right, brother. That's going to end it for us today. We will be back next Monday, I believe, will be the next time you see us
Yes.
because we're going to record it Sunday. This will probably go up Wednesday, if I had to guess. Wednesday or Thursday. If this is going up after Dynamite this week and Hobbs lost clean in the middle of the ring, um, I'm just gonna do my preemptive. God damn it!
Yep. I hear you.
That's it. Damon, play our music. Russ, we'll see you next week.